welcome to another episode of Choochagatari Unlimited Train Works. I am your host, Rose. It is December 1st as of recording. The holiday season is in full force. We are all here, and by we, I mean John.
Hello!
Hey. And Elvie.
I am also here. In full
You are
force.
also here. Yeah, in force.
In force.
Very quietly
Full
in force. A force to be reckoned with.
Partial force. Probably more accurately, yeah. Not full force.
Still a threat.
Still
a threat.
A little effort, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we are here this week. It's the time of the month that we talk about the anime that we watched. And this time around, it was the first 12 episodes of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, as picked by patron Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. John, would you like to get us started, or should I do a little explanation first of Ghost in the Shell?
Go right ahead. Yes.
Okay. Ghost in the Shell is a manga series from the 90s that, there's a famous Mamoru Oshii. How did I mess up that name? Mamoru Oshii. I added the "da" for no reason. It made,
the
made,
movie,
a,
the first
made a movie, yeah, of it.
Yeah, the first movie.
In the 90s as well. That was my first thing I saw of Ghost in the Shell back in the day. Very famous film, And this is a series that came out in the 2000s. And I think most people listening probably, I won't say most people, but a few people listening probably saw it on Toonami. Not Toonami, but Adult Swim. I guess I'm mixing up now because Toonami is Adult Swim now, right? Like it's in there.
It, really.
Yeah.
But
It was
an Adult
yeah.
Swim.
It was on like the late night anime block that is now Toonami because they kind of just took the name as a nostalgia trip thing.
So it was back then, and if you go and those old Toonami clips, they used a lot of the Ghost in the Shell soundtrack. Let me tell you, which I realized watching this show, standalone complex. This is a 2-season show. I believe it has 40-something 50-something episodes. Total?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, about.
The first season has 26 or something, 24. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We watched 12 episodes. Because that's how it lined up, and now we're gonna talk about it. It's separated into 2 parts: standalone complex cases, and more overarching stuff. So you got a little mix of that watching these. John, would you like to start off with your opinions on Ghost in the Shell standalone complex?
I would love to. Because I loved this show, or at least what we watched so far. I really, really dug it. I feel like I have a bit of a weird opinion on the original movie, in that I sort of feel like if you're watching it for the first time, like in the recent era, I think it stands more as a historical piece than anything. It's an interesting watch. It's not bad. It's definitely still good, but I feel like a lot of the things that it posits, a lot of the things that it does have been done a little better today, and I would even argue have been done maybe a little better by Standalone Complex, or just at the very least from what I've seen. I am definitely going to keep watching this after we finish recording this, of course. I mean, probably not immediately after, but hey, who knows? I just dug everything about this. I think it is a very smart show. I think it is a very flashy and fun and well-animated and just passionate show. As I watched it, I just could not get over how passionate it... Like, everyone that worked on this show, it feels like, really gave a damn about every bit of the show. Like, how the characters move, the music, the dialogue, the concepts. It is just a loved show from the people that made it, and you can feel that love while you're watching it, and then you express that love back to it because I loved it too. Characters are fantastic. I think it's interesting that the Major is not as focused on in the show as you would think. But I think it's a good thing. Not because she's, like, ignored or is regulated to, like, a lesser character. I think her thing is that she's very much what the other characters bounce off of, and she's very in control of everything. She's extremely intelligent, she's extremely strong, she's able to handle pretty much anything thrown at her, and that is a good way to reflect the rest of the world. Not just like her other teammates, but, when the episode is about her, it's about how she interacts with the world and how she lives and how the world lives with people like her. How she, she's I don't know, I guess like an android. I don't remember if there's a specific name for people that are like completely mechanized like she is. I forget. But it's like the show is very much about asking questions that feel very real in today's life. It's not one-to-one, but you look at the sort of, like government overreach and privacy concerns, and you think about the episode with the police like hacking into people's like eyes to spy on them so they can gather evidence, and someone misusing that. And, obviously you can say, and I would agree with you, that the police should be doing that in the first place, but, the show posits that, hey, giving anyone that kind of power will automatically let someone misuse it, and seeing how that falls apart. And then you get into the whole Laughing Man debacle, and how, how someone can be idolized, and how a concept can be filtered through the internet, and like that whole episode where they're just in a chat room basically was absolutely fascinating. And it just you just think about the kind of people, the kind of communities that pop up online that obsess over the littlest things, and how real that is. Obviously it was real back then, but it feels so much realer now. You just think about people in fucking Twitter DMs just chattering about, whatever fandom they're in. It's very real. It's very, very real, and it helps that the characters are just very real as well, Like, the Major feels so human, like, seeing how she... she's really smart, she's really in control, but she never feels unrealistic. She's just a professional, but she's a professional that gives a damn. And then the rest of the crew, there's Bato, who is completely goofy and a really fun character, and he's probably my personal favorite character, of course. But then there's the episode where they delve into his past a bit, how he was in a war, and how he holds like a grudge against the government for sending him in there, and also for the people around him that committed atrocities. Like, the whole episode is about him hunting down a serial killer who was like a part of his platoon, who he witnessed doing horrible things in the country that they were sent to invade. And it's just, there's so many like little things that they introduce episode to episode that get built upon and build the characters and make you care about them more. And it's just very, very fantastic. I can't laud it enough. It is just a great, great show. Again, I'm going to keep watching it. I don't know how it'll end. I don't know how the second season holds up, because I don't really know too much about the whole like process or anything, but I very much enjoy this, and I'm gonna definitely be a Standalone Complex fan after all this. I'm sure. So yeah, that's how I feel.
All right. Yeah. Elfie, how about you? Have you seen this before?
Yes, I have seen this before.
All right. All right.
And
All right.
but no, I would say like I've seen it multiple times. I would say, but
Mm-hmm.
not but in a sense of like being exposed to it much younger and like not really watching it or caring much about it. But I would see it in passing, and then at some point rewatching it and kind of like later on, like in high school or about, and like kind of really understanding what the series is about and like really getting what it is and what it's conveying. And now again, so yeah, it still holds up really well. It's a series that has aged well, and like shockingly, tons of anime that was made and produced around the time do not age well.
Oh yeah.
Certainly so, and even more like surprising for the show that does use CGI in such a way that looks way better than some anime today using CGI, looking far worse than what Ghost in the Shell does. It does a really cool like it's not a cell shading effect at all. It actually is like a whole process where they try to make it try to mesh it well with how the 2D animation is. But yeah, it ages well in both its in its concept, its writing, and in its style. It's something that definitely should be cemented up there as like I think one of the best series of all time in terms of anime. I think.
I will say, one thing that I feel like has maybe looped around a bit is its opening. Because
Right.
you watch that opening, you watch the animation of that opening, and I bet when it first came out, it was like, oh my god, this is so incredible, look at this 3D animation. But then
sci-fi, yeah.
But then a while later, it was like, oh no, we have moved so far past this. But I feel like nowadays, you look at something like that, and it's a nostalgic thing, and then
Yeah.
B, people are making things that look like this as a kishi,
Yeah.
as a celebration of the past.
Right.
And so you look at something that is that, and it's a nostalgic feeling, but it's also like, oh wow, yeah, like it's still like well shot, and the song is really good, and so it's still enjoyable today.
Yeah, I agree. There's like elements to it that it feels like a 2000s anime, certainly. Like especially like that, like the opening sequence. Certainly, I think does solidify that with what they wanted to do with that. But yeah, I agree with John. Like, there's a lot of issues it goes into that holds up, if not especially more relevant today, especially with how far our own technology and our own relationship with technology has progressed. A good piece of sci-fi tends to predict the future, because good sci-fi like is understanding where it's sourcing from and is drawing from real life logic and rationale and actual technology, and kind of understanding like how that current contemporary piece of technology works to kind of predict like how is this going to evolve like a few years from now. And this is like kind of like a great example of that, especially when it comes to our relationships with each other, the community, like and how like this idea of like transhumanity, especially intertwined with like actual like literal like digital digital mechanisms associated with that. Like what does that mean when it comes to how far does someone how far removes does someone have to be from their body to kind of define like what they are, right? And that's kind of the concept of the ghost in the series. That's where the title comes in, right? The concept of like this machine has no ghost, et cetera, like which is kind of like a bigger topic I kind of don't know how to explain in a few words, but essentially the ghost is like this idea of not necessarily a soul literally. I mean, it is in that regard. It's like kind of the series is like own allegorical reference to that, but also it's like the idea of like a consciousness and like just a consciousness, I guess, tied to something, whether or not to define its value. Like oftentimes throughout through the series, especially in like a lot of those standalone cases, which all again revolve around machinery or some sort of robotic related thing. Like they kind of make quips at it, which is interesting because as much as those cases are like standalone, they do ultimately do tie back to the major, and in some way she does frame the series. And yeah, it's not entirely centralized around her, but she does frame the series in regards to her asking these questions to herself, asking like how human am I, and she's having these sort of phantom memories in regards to her own past and how much of her body is artificial, right? So but yeah, like it's talking about all these things that where we kind of have like these problems now today, talking about other media and like other things we don't need to speak about in the anime podcast, but in regards to the problem that the cyberpunk genre is having right now, where there's just a lot of stuff labeling themselves as such, where they don't quite meet the, I think, level of complexity that this series goes into, and just as a whole, I think this franchise, like I would say franchise, yeah, like manga, movie, it's and games, because I think they're doing it at a very surface level, and I think it's and again, just to reiterate Jonathan, it's clear this series has people thinking on it and knowing what they want to do when they made it. The second season specifically was a specific response to 9/11. And they make that very clear once one goes into it, specifically in regards to Japan's Japan's own response to 9/11 and that stuff, and like in regards to like responsibility towards war. And I think the Bato episode in this first season, which kind of goes into his backstory, was a very poignant example of like where they stand on like what they want to convey in regards to like imperialism and like how exactly like the problems with war and like the consequences of it. And like I think the second season goes into that more. In fact, I think the second season too also goes into more themes that I think resonate with what the original movie did, which it goes into like a little more dense stuff in regards to talking about like defining humanity, defining transhumanity, and like a lot more of that hard science existential stuff. But I do agree to the extent that I think the movie doesn't age well when it comes to accessibility. It definitely is kind of up in its own ass, I'll say. It's one of those things. It's something you do appreciate from an artistic vision, but I think the series is a great, I think, jumping off point for a lot of people that otherwise to kind of get these messages across. But sure. I do recommend the movie still. The second one, I don't know. I cannot say I would recommend the second one, no. But the first one, I think I would say, again, from an artistic standpoint.
The second one's the CGI one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, the series is like, we watch, I think like all of us we watch the series on Adult Swim. It's right there, and it's definitely something I would recommend for one to indulge in regards to like, getting your start in the series. I'm not really I've heard mixed things about Arise. I've heard good, but otherwise it's mostly leaning towards good, I would say. Arise. Though in terms of the recent Netflix one, definitely not good things. Yeah. So, the recent CGI series.
Yeah, I can.
We see stuff out of context and we're like, what is this? I've not heard I have not heard from like actual professional like critics good things, no good things. But yeah, I think this is a very good accessible series to watch if you want to get that sci-fi fix in terms of and like opening up this socio-political conversations too. It's definitely something that is timeless. I think it deserves that word branded onto it. And hands down, I love Yoko Kanno. So this is, I think, one of her best soundtracks that she has contributed to, hands down. Every song a bop. Truly. And whenever she works with Maya Sakamoto, who does voice the Major in the original Japanese track, she's like a very well-ranged person. It's insane. Like I don't understand why she's not as like a big deal as she is. But
she's a pretty big deal.
I mean, in terms of like talking about her, right? I mean, she's a pretty big deal. But I feel like people always talk about Mamoru Mia, like again, like it's sexism. I'm telling you.
Yep.
But we always hear male seiyuu names often when people like uplift things. But yeah, when those two work together, it's always something great. So it's very interesting to hear her vocals on like some songs, and it kind of like has this weird connection back to the Major in a way, which is very intentional, I think. But yeah, she has like an amazing range where she can do like a deep voice, and on another level like her more natural like higher pitched voice. But yeah, like excellent soundtrack. Very like I just love the industrial sound to it. And that, I think, again, like that continues on with the rest of into the next season, which again, like I would say is totally different. But I think if you are comfortable with this first season as is, I think you would like the second season. But I think the second season is more focused in that regard on what they want to do.
Okay.
But yeah, those are my thoughts. It's highly positive. I've seen I wanted to watch the Japanese track, but I just ended up, sinking into the English dub, which is the only version I've ever seen of it. I've seen the original like Japanese like track, like, but just clips of it. I've never seen it in full. I don't think the dub has aged well, I would say. In a sense of like, I feel like a lot of the acting is kind of stiff. There's definitely a certain voice direction that a lot of anime dubs for some reason at the point in time, and I don't know what the word is. I am not someone who's in professional voice acting. I can't comment on like that regard, like, but there are times like it feels very like they are reading a script. I'd be very interested to see how that direction and feel changes a little bit in the second season, but it feels very much like they're reading a script a lot of times. And there's a lot, like, a lot of times when there's the natural, like, more comedic banter, like, it feels better, but, like, a lot of times in more serious moments, it feels a little stiff and feels very like, ooh, this is like an older dub, yeah. It just sounds that way to me. I think they truly did not comprehend, like, what a, like, deep series they're doing, like, what kind of series they were doing in the beginning. But so like, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm curious as to see how it sounds, I think, later on, like, in the second season, if I were to ever revisit it. Assuming it's the same cast, of course. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. It's a very good series. Highly recommend it if one has not tried it yet.
Yeah, so with regards to the soundtrack, here I've seen this show several times. Also, let me say as my thing. As for the soundtrack, it's really good. The opening is fine. I think it's fine. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of it. But I think the music that they use for each individual episode, like when they have a vocal track for an ending, is all really great stuff. Just really, really, really good. Fits the mood great. And the stuff with oh god, how do you pronounce? Is it Origa? Is that who the vocalist is? Yeah, that's great. All of it's just really good music, really great stuff. That's Yoko Kanno, though, as you said. It's just generally great stuff. When it comes to the animation for the show, it's the type of thing where the way I felt about this is the same way when we watched the first few episodes of Yashahime, and I was like, they don't make it like this anymore. That's exactly how I felt watching it, where like there is, like John said, there is a lot of effort and like care put into everything, but it's like it's more like they put a lot of effort into the static imagery and everything to really nail the atmosphere and vibe and stuff like that. And then, like, when they talk, it's really funny. Like, there's a lot of scenes in this where, like, Togusa will walk into a room and it's just his face very, like, mildly emoting for, like, a full minute. Which is, like, that's the nature of the show, right? And the other funny thing about the show that I really love every time I watch it is how pissed off they get, but their face is completely emotionless because, they're talking over Discord in their heads.
Exactly.
And that's really good. I think like you said, something that strikes me about this as a cyberpunk work compared to most other cyberpunk works is it has a much more basis in what made sense for the technology, where it was going, what an evolution of the current stuff is. Like the chat room stuff obviously is like a little different from what chat rooms are today, let's say, and but it's, at the same time, there are echoes of what today is like there in a lot of the bad ways for stuff. But I think it's much more effective than something like Cyberpunk 2077 we're seeing coming up. Like these weird, like, it feels like, especially like in the 90s, it was on this real precipice of what technology was doing to the world, I think, and like where we were going, that they could make a lot of assumptions that, hit the nail on the head of like, oh, this is where it could go if it goes bad. And today it's like, well, it went bad. What if it was just, everyone was just evil and just punched you on the street. Like, that's what most modern cyberpunk is, right? Like, it's just like, what if they had just swords and they killed you? Like, that's what cyberpunk feels like it is now.
Extra bad? And, like, a layer of absurdity to it that at that point is kind of detached from reality.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. Whereas this felt a lot more grounded and like really like I you know, if I had watched this in the 90s at my current age, I would have been like, oh geez, these computers, man, you know, or whatever. Oh yeah, it was just as good as I remembered. I actually liked Togusa more this time because I think he looks like a sad dog every time he's in a scene, and it's really funny to me.
It's true though, yeah.
That was something when I was watching the X-Files recently, and they get John Doggett who's the second partner in. He looks like a sad dog all the time, and I think that's just like my favorite thing now is when they just have like a really sad man, like just like looking off the distance, and everyone's just mean to him. And they're not that mean to Togusa, but I mean they're kind of mean to Togusa. He probably deserved it.
The episode where like he has to go to that facility, they were pretty mean.
Yeah, they were pretty mean to him in that
like,
episode.
They didn't help him. They were like, I was baffled. I was like, I forgot that's what happened. I was like, wow, he just fucking almost dies, and that's it. That's the end of the episode. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you gotta file a report anyway, even though you don't remember what happened. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
I especially appreciated this having seen so I watched Arise like a couple years ago, and that was okay, but
so that's part of what I'm hearing. It's like mixed, but it's not negative.
It's not
mixed.
this.
It's like positive mixed.
It's not this.
Yeah.
It's very much a type of thing where you watch it, and I think like they have a real weird focus that I think a lot of the post-standalone complex works regarding Ghost in the Shell has towards Kusanagi, where it's very like listen, okay, throughout this entire thing, she is in like a sexy outfit like the whole time, right? Like that's how it is. It's not a great outfit. The first movie's
don't really
like
point it out.
Yeah, they don't, which is good. I like that because I would probably do the same thing, but like the first movie especially I think is a good example of like, what's the famous scene from it? Oh, she's naked, like
her clothes fall off.
Her clothes fall off and stuff like that.
She's like jumping off the building,
Yeah, and then she's fighting the tank and she's naked, whatever, all that stuff. And then I think like Arise just really leans into that in a not great way. But not as bad as the Netflix series, which didn't even get Maya Sakamoto for Kusanagi, which is mind-blowing to me.
She probably said no.
She probably said no, because anyone would
like, what the fuck is this?
She sensed something. She was like, I got better time somewhere else.
So when I said like the animation was very static a lot of the time, I think that's good because I think I love how much they talk and how much they talk things out in this and how they like have great environments that they're interacting in and stuff like that. Like I really like everything they did with this show with when they did decide to use the animation, like it was like, whoa, like a fight scene or something. Or like beautifully rendered headshot animation or whatever when they shoot a robot in the head. But the Netflix series is just, hey, what if it was all fighting? What if they were fighting all the time? What if they're just fighting nonstop? What if Kusanagi was a stormtrooper and so was Bato and they miss every single shot that they take on everyone?
Yeah, the biggest complaint across the board really is that it just lacks the substance of like what any of the previous, like even to cite the bad live action, Scarlett Johansson's Agent like movie, like even to cite like that even like from my understanding of the plot, like it actually does touch upon the same themes that the series does, but like this recent Netflix series really does not do anything. It's really like a pure on surface level action series, and that's kind of that's what it is. It's kind of like a waste of like what the foundation of like people have seen so far with everything else. Even the bad live action movie, like it even explores into that sort of like those questions about that stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of like across the board what's bad about it. And just how I don't in my opinion, just how it looks too. It doesn't look like a finished CGI series. Just something about it is not. It doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't look good. It's like they translated that art style. Like instead of being like, hey, this art style would work really well for a 2D thing, they just were like, well, let's make it CGI because that's cheap. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, it looks a little stiff. I think it dates it more than like what standalone complex looks like, funnily enough. So
Yeah. Yeah, that show's really bad. That's kind of part of the thing that I was saying. Like, whereas Ghost in the Shell feels like it has so much of this stuff that is like, oh yeah, this is like reflective of what modern society has become way back then. That stuff is just the, oh, America is, which they have to like, make the what is it? I forget what America is called in Ghost in the Shell. It has an insane name.
it's like the Empire something.
It's like the Empire of,
It like became the Empire, yeah.
I forget. Whatever, it they like have to do a bunch of politics with that because most of the series takes place in America because Netflix. It's just stupid. Patrick Hughes is a villain. Like, it's God's gift to man or whatever was what I think.
Patrick Hughes.
Patrick Hughes. Whereas, like, this stuff, like the Laughing Man animation effect they do to people's faces when the Laughing Man stuff happens, that's great. I love to see it.
It's very cool.
It's very fun. It's a great series, I really thought it was really good. And I was happy to watch it again. I haven't seen it in a few years, so it's nice to see it again, especially after seeing the Netflix one, which was not good.
Have you been following that like consistently or no?
I watched all of it when it came out.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
it has another season too.
Oh,
like,
that's great. I don't want to think about that. I'm not going to do that.
Very sad.
That is really sad. That's miserable.
What are they doing to her? Oh.
What did they?
What are they doing to them?
I just like. I watched the Patrick Hughes episode with a few friends, and because we thought that was insane, and we had to see it.
Is that the one where he like cartwheels?
He cartwheels naked, and
yeah.
That episode was horrible, and I was just like, you know what? I'll just watch all of it, and it was really bad. It was really, really bad. It was not worth it. I don't recommend it to anyone out there. Just watch Standalone Complex instead, or Arise. Arise is fine. Also, like I said, it's fine. Do you remember how you had to get Arise over here? It was like a Verizon exclusive or something.
Yeah.
Like
what?
That. Yeah.
Was that
like,
when Amazon was still like doing their, and yeah.
I don't even think Amazon had like made itself like a big thing. It was like 2015, I think. So like, I mean, it was big, but like, I don't think they were getting into streaming stuff that much. Like, Anime Strike hadn't happened yet. It was like,
oh, okay. Yeah.
It was like a Verizon Fios exclusive or like a phone thing or some weird thing you had to do.
Great.
It's real weird. All right, is that everything about Ghost in the Shell?
It will be after I read the the opinion we got.
Okay, you can read the opinion. Let me have one more opinion, which is that the thing that really struck me was with regards to the dub is that I think a few of the voice actors are fine, and I think they do an okay job. I think it is very much what Elvie said, where you can tell it is the nature of how they did all of that stuff back in the day, where they are not interacting with each other in the same room. They are not bouncing off of another person's lines. They are not hearing the other person speak. They are just reading it outright.
Yeah, they're like too busy trying to sync with the lips in a sense. Like there's like too much of like a technical, like methodical process to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas compared to like much better dubs, and again, there's still some bad ones today, but like there's definitely a huge difference now where I think there's more emotion and like I think better trained actors, I mean not actors, but like directors coming from the experience where they probably dubbed anime themselves. Like I feel like in a lot of anime that was coming into the US like late 90s, like a lot of directors were kind of not coming from the experience of like, oh, we gotta dub over a track, and I think I think it's a very interesting thing to think about too. So like I think now there's a better sense of like, okay, yeah, let's focus on the acting and not like we gotta make sure we are syncing up to the script and scenes, I
was gonna say that like I feel like the main characters are well dubbed, like especially like the main three. But otherwise it is kind of wonky.
Great,
yeah, Bato's like especially a standout for the dub.
I think the thing that murdered me and really made me be like, oh god, this dub, was when fucking Dexter's dad from Dexter's Laboratory was Nanao. So what I did is I had watched this originally dubbed, right? The series, the first time I ever watched it was dubbed. I watched every episode I switched, is how I did this, between the dubbed and the subbed, because I had the subbed from somewhere else. And the sub is probably more cohesively better, I think, probably. Which, I mean, makes sense, obviously, but I didn't have a problem with the dub. I've seen some bad dubs, and I don't think this was the worst ever that I saw.
Oh,
but
definitely not. It's just like moments where it's like,
yeah, well, like
it just
Togusa will
feels
say
kinda
something,
stiff.
and you'll be
it
like,
doesn't-
especially the fucking all the side people are really, like I said, like Dexter's dad from, like, all I can think of, like, Saturdays for dads, when he's like out there like killing someone or whatever. He's like, haha, got them. I'm like, oh,
It definitely again had the vibe of like how like stuff like worked back then, where like minor character that only appears in episode. We'll just grab the random person, and not because we had actors around in a fully fledged studio.
exactly.
Yeah, there's a character that pops up, like, or see, again, I haven't finished anything, but like they have used Ty's voice actor from Digimon twice already in the 12 episodes that I've watched, and like it's not like, oh, I can tell it's like he's using the exact same voice he uses for Ty. It's super distracting when you hear that, but you know. All
right, you can read your opinion now. I think that's all I got.
All right, well, it's not my opinion.
I know,
Natalie's.
you're holding it.
I'm being a bastard. But yes, if you want to send in an opinion or a question or whatever you want, send it to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, and you'll sound like this. Natalie says, Standalone Complex is one of my all-time favorites. I think its single greatest strength is its pacing. Alternating between main arc episodes and self-contained story episodes is a structure that serves the series extremely well. It breaks up the dense main plot in a way that gives it room for you to digest it without overwhelming you, but never takes you so far away from it that you lose track. Another small thing I like is how they dialed back the fan service of the first stretch after around 7 episodes.
Yeah, I think the way they break it up is really good, because if you heard someone say like, oh well, some of these episodes are important to the main plot but other ones aren't, like you think like, oh, this is going to be like weird, like I'm going to be left waiting to see the continuation, but they all bleed into each other really well. I think
I agree, like it was very strategic that they like serialized the series in that way, and it doesn't feel like I have to wait for like the main plot. Like no, you make a great point where it just kind of bleeds. It feels like it does mesh together regardless of whether or not they have any connection to like the particular like bigger arc at hand. The first season being the Laughing Man arc.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense even in context where like, I mean maybe it's not necessarily the same where, maybe that's not what's happening in canon per se, but they're like a special forces unit, they might just be like, doing some things for one job and, doing the Laughing Man investigation, but then, oh, here's something that came up today, let's take care of this, That's realistic.
Yeah, it's a structure that makes sense, so it's not like they're just doing it randomly too. It
right.
actually makes sense for the context of what their tasks are, what they're supposed to do. Yeah.
Good show. It's a good program.
Yes, very good show.
All right, with that, I guess we'll go on to the main show.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we want to start with? Does anyone have anything they want to talk or cover first?
I mean, I could do the usuals, get those out of the way.
If you want to, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, the beginning this time.
Right at the beginning.
Cap off the end.
Yeah, I'll
nice
get it out.
Pace.
Yeah. All right, so folks, we had a troubling episode of Precure followed by
every episode.
Well, okay. We had an especially troubling
it's
episode.
Troubling every episode.
I know, but we had an especially troubling episode, and then a normal amount of troubling episode afterwards. So I'm just gonna read off what I wrote down here. So it's so bizarre. The way that this episode goes down is so bizarre. So the main girl, Nodoka, is like walking out of school, and she's like, oh, I can't really hang out too much, guys. I have someone important to me showing up to see me. And so they're all like, oh, what is it? You got a boyfriend? But then there's just this old guy standing there waiting for her outside the school. And they're like, what the fuck? And she just goes, hey, this is my doctor. It's her
Okay.
doctor. It's her doctor from when she was in the hospital. Like, coming to visit her family, which... That is extremely bizarre to me. Like, I don't know, I feel like if you're, helping the family and you, like, help make sure that she didn't die, maybe you might have some kind of relationship with the doctor afterwards, but I don't know, I can't imagine anything beyond, like, sending them Christmas cards or something like that, you know? Like, I can't imagine being like, oh yeah, no, they're gonna come over for, like, a weekend. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, in a modern context, I don't think that is commonplace out. Like, the way I'm thinking of it is like, oh, like, is it a family personal doctor? Like,
No,
are they, like,
no, it was just...
nobles? Like, what's
No,
going
it was
on?
just the guy at the hospital who, like, helped treat her.
Interesting,
But,
okay.
but then, like, they're all sitting around having dinner, and I swear to God... He reveals that he has quit the hospital. He's no longer a doctor.
So why is he...
So,
And then
so I need your help, guys.
No, so later on
Stop
that
leeching off of them!
later on that night, he and Nodoka, like, go for a walk, and he explains really what happened because he says the reason why I quit was because while I was treating you, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with you. And then you all of a sudden got better, so I felt useless.
Holy shit.
And if you recall, the reason why she was sick was because she had a pathogerm in her, and the reason why she got better was because the pathogerm left and became the twink. So that's why he felt bad. And so Nodoka's, like, standing there like, oh god, like, do I tell him? Like, do I tell him about pathogerms? Because... maybe then he won't quit, and maybe he can go back to his life, and he won't be so depressed, because he was, like, actively depressed about this. Like, I was half expecting them to, like, say that he became an alcoholic or something. So, then, I don't really remember exactly how it goes down, but, like, they talk it out, and he kind of realizes, like, well, I can still help people, because I was still, like, there for you, and, it doesn't matter too much if I wasn't, like, the active solution or whatever. What matters is you got better. And, so there was that.
Okay, that's good.
And-
He realized, that stuff shouldn't matter much.
Yeah, and so then he's leaving, he gets in his car, and he drives away the next day, and on his way out, he almost runs over the twink, who got powered up. He put the crystal inside of him, so now he's powered up. And so then the twink infects him, and he turns into a giga pathogerm. And so they have to save him. And that's kind of it. They save him, and that's it. But I will say there is a new complaint, the ultimate complaint, especially from me, who is chronicling the dog's illness. Mm-hmm. They are still showing the instance of the dog getting sick. They haven't, for the past 2 episodes, this episode and the next episode, they don't show the dog being cured. They just show the dog post-cure. So I can't get, like, a direct timestamp. I can be like, this is where the dog...
called post-cure, John. Boop.
I'm just very upset that I can't get exact time frames. Like, I'm having to write, like, the dog appeared cured. Which I need to...
I like that.
Citation needed. Wow.
Yeah, which I do need to actually get around to updating the Twitter, because I'm, like, a few episodes behind, because, like, some episodes got, like, I put them in the schedule and then they got deleted somehow because Twitter fucked up. I don't know what's going on with that, but what I do know is I'm very upset with that, and I am going to update it soon, but it's very upsetting. And then episode 34 was just another episode about Chiyu in track. She's doing track stuff again, and she has a rival who is angry at her for defeating her. Like, she's mad that Chiyu defeated her in the jump, the pole jump, whatever the hell that's called. When you, like, dive sideways over the pole. I don't know what that's called, but she does that. That is her track thing. And she's very upset at Chiyu for being good at that. And I mean, that's pretty much the entire episode. It's just Chiyu, like, challenging herself because she wants to be better than her rival. But then the rival gets infected by a pathogerm, and they have to save her. And then they become friends, but also still rivals. And that's it. It wasn't really that interesting. There is one part that was very interesting, though, where it was the lady pathogerm was, like, going to attack, I think, Nodoka. And she straight up does the fucking tri-beam pose. Like, the exact pose, and they even, like, replicate the shot of when Tien is aiming the Neo Tri-Beam at Cell. Like, it's the exact fucking pose. We were watching it in the shoot chat, and we were all flipping out, like, oh my god, Neo Tri-Beam! Like, we were, like, flipping out. Like, that was good. And, I mean, it was probably a legit reference, because it's Toei, you know? So they wanted to make a DBZ reference, and I respect that, because that is still the rawest part of Dragon Ball Z.
Glad someone out there still appreciates Tien for what he is.
Someone's gotta.
And not Dragon Ball itself. That's wild. And that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't happened earlier, like where they would just offhand reference like other Toei properties. But it sounds like the series is at a point where it's just gone completely off the rails, especially with the animals. Don't know what's up with them.
Yes.
Have they been up to any shenanigans recently? Like off, or no?
I mean, they're starting to like gear up for the next series. It looks like, so I guess this one's going to end soon. It's a little hard to say because usually it's like it's a yearly franchise where it like started last year and it was supposed to end this year, but because of COVID it got delayed a little bit. So who knows how that's going to like fully affect this? Are they going to cut it a little short? Are they going to keep it going into next year or like longer into next year? Because like they've already announced some stuff that's going to be in next year. Like I think there's going to be like the movie is going to be next year. Because from what I saw, but what I guess they do for Precure is like about halfway through the show, they do a like crossover movie with like previous Precures, and then at the end they do a movie that is just them. So I think that movie is going to be sometime next year. So we'll see how that goes, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, Precure's just you could say Precure is the girl-coded Kamen Rider series, and
I guess
Kamen
so.
Rider does the same thing, where they have weird crossover movies that have nothing to do with anything. Except in Kamen Rider Build, they did this really weird thing where it's the only one of these that I've watched so far where they just like had this dumb crossover movie, and then they just like acted like that was important lore for the series going forward.
Okay.
Like they were just like had flashbacks to it. Did they do that in Precure at all? Have they yet?
No, they don't really reference the old stuff at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't really matter in that. It was just like, wow, here's how this tech works that's going on in the thing. Remember when we fought that guy? And I'm like, no, I don't remember.
Yeah, they don't do that much. I mean, there's like little references here and there, I guess, but they're usually just kind of talking about the future, I guess.
The future.
Yes, the future. So then we had Pocket Monsters. And folks, what we've all been waiting for. It happened. The Mewtwo episode. I geeked the fuck out the whole time. It was, it was really contrived how it happened, because it starts off with the professor just being like, hey kids, there's like there's scans going on and it says that there's a Mew on this random island. And so they're all like, wow, we gotta head over to that island to catch Mew, right, Go? And then Go's like, yeah, I gotta catch Mew. They travel to this island all by themselves, and there's like 10 minutes of them just like getting owned by big Pokemon. Like a Gyarados almost kills them, a Kingler almost kills them, just a bunch of other Pokemon just almost kill them. And then before they actually die, they like wash up in this like ancient crevice, and there's all these like little baby Pokemon, and all the baby Pokemon are scared of them. And they kind of follow the baby Pokemon in, and then fucking Mewtwo like floats down like he did in the movie. Like you know that tube that he comes down in. It's like that, except it's like a forest, and that was pretty tight. And he's got his fucking voice. He's got the same voice actor that he has in the Japanese version of the movie and in Smash Bros. So I was geeking out over that. And he's just like goes just like, oh, I want to catch every Pokemon. We came here because we wanted to catch Mew, but you're here. And then Ash is like, yeah, but I want to fight everybody. And Mewtwo's like, all right, how about we knock out 2 birds with 1 stone? I'll fight both of you, and if you can beat me, Go can catch me. And then they're just like, all right, sure. And so then the rest of the episode is just a battle, and Mewtwo is just no-selling everything. Like, they are throwing everything at him, and he is just blocking everything. Like, he's not even attacking. The whole episode, he's just blocking shit. And then at the end, he just does like a giant shadow ball, like a fucking like a fucking spirit bomb, and just drops it on them. And then he's just like, all right, y'all done? And they're just like, yeah, we're done. And that's just it. They just leave. Like, Mewtwo just like teleports them home, and that's it. And then, but it is revealed that the reason why Mewtwo is there is because all those baby Pokemon that were scared of them, they were scared because they were mistreated by humans. But then Mewtwo showed them that they were nice humans, so the babies aren't scared of them anymore. So that's what Mewtwo's doing. Mewtwo is just like stealing like Pokemon that are being abused from their trainers and keeping them safe on an island in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, Mewtwo's doing the good shit. Yeah. And there's also like a shot that's kind of like the ending of the movie where he's like carrying all the babies away and flying away like he does with the clone Pokemon at the end of the movie. And I was like, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they probably had to like do that to make up for the fact of the fucking 3D movie existing.
That sucked. Yeah. Ugh.
I don't know a single person that liked it. I never saw anyone say anything good about it.
I mean, I haven't seen it because I don't want to see it.
Why would you
like,
want it? Yeah, like you could just watch the original and it looks better.
Yeah, just watch the original. Yeah, the original, you know, the original is not like a great movie. It is a dumb kids anime, whatever the hell. But like, I think just for what it is and for like how like it looks really cool. Like how that movie used shadows is really great. I think it still looks cool. And I mean, yeah, I just, you know, I'm gonna dweeb out when I see Mewtwo. I love Mewtwo, but it was just funny seeing him just completely no sell. Just like he did not do anything. He was just blocking everything, like shooting shadow balls at flamethrowers and all that. He just did not care. It was good. And then the episode after that was an eating contest episode.
Okay.
Which was very funny. Because one of the professor's assistants is obsessed with the eating contests, and specifically about like the champion of them, who is a Blaziken, who she is just like completely horny for. Yeah. And so then, you know, Ash enters his Dragonite, but the Dragonite is like is a light eater, so he like loses immediately. Go has a Squovit, like the little squirrel. But then Team Rocket brings in more Pecco, but they like they starved it so it would eat more. So it's just pissed as fuck the entire time. They like tied it up to bring it in, and it's just like it's like screaming and trying to bite them the whole time. But when they put it in front of the food, it eats all the food. And it's just extremely funny. It was a very good episode. I don't know if I should be like telling everyone everything that happens in these episodes, because I do think people should be watching the show. But yes, it was very funny. Just a lot of like dumb anime bullshit. I enjoyed it a lot, so definitely check that one out if you so wish.
All right. I wonder if they'll ever acknowledge any other Pokemon movie that isn't one or two.
Well, I'm trying to think because you just mentioned one or two, because I was gonna say I think there was a point where Ash mentioned like meeting Lugia before or something like that.
They did the whole movie too, the remake movie or whatever. The I Choose You, but it's Lugia this time.
No, well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I think that
I think we need to revisit Entei being her dad. That's all I'm saying. I think we need to, as a society, we need to go back and evaluate what went on there.
Or the Latias that really wanted to go.
Yeah, the Latias really liked Ash. That too.
She really loved him.
When the Onion Fairy died, that too. That was really sad. And then
he fucking met Professor Oak.
And they had like a yaoi romance going on. Yeah, there's a lot we need to go back and examine, I think, is what we're learning. Remember when Jirachi, like, disintegrated May?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Dating the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Jirachi annihilated people.
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
goodbye.
by being sad. Yeah.
God, are we gonna have to do, like, a Pokemon movie year or something, just like every month watch them? Yeah, well, because there's like 17 movies.
We'll put them in a hat and we'll pull one out and go, this is the movie we're watching.
Okay.
No, there's so much we need to examine here. I'm trying to think of the other one. We're never watching the Volcanian one. I will tear that one out of the hat and it won't go in there. I don't want to see that shit again.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of shit. Those are some crazy. They need to acknowledge this more. That's the best stuff right there. All that stuff we described. All right. Elvie, would you like to talk about something?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I actually shockingly did not watch like a jillion stuff this week.
Wow.
Coming in from.
You got to make up for the last time where you.
Right, I had to like Thanksgiving break includes taking a break from anime, I guess. So my latest, as we are still recovering from Angel Beats, as I'm now watching and have been watching Today I Became God, the latest Jude Maeda joint. They finally dropped. So I didn't realize this series was gonna be 24 episodes. Holy cow! I thought this series was gonna be 12. We are, I think, on episode 8 or 9 here. But at this point, they finally reached an interesting turning point where I was, I've been watching this. There's like so far, there's been no weird bullshit. Again, the whole thing where this man loves his tropes. They finally did it. They finally did it. They finally revealed there is a chronically ill girl in this series. They finally did it.
Yeah, you had to happen.
And yes, so there's a twist here, and I'm gonna just say up front because again, this is 8 episodes in. I would say I'm still gonna say consistently this is like a very interesting, decent series so far. So again, the whole premise of the series is that this high school kid, he meets this random little girl. And she claims to be a god, and she's very, delusional. She keeps saying, oh, I can predict things happening. And much of the series is them just doing shenanigans together, just weird shit. And it's pretty funny. I think his comedy has, and again, I'm saying it as, it's one guy doing it. It's no, not necessarily. But I'm just saying, overall, this theme, since Angel Beats, the comedy of this stuff has improved, I would say it's a little more, it depends less on a specific punchline, so the randomness of the slapstick is actually funny, but yeah, she's predicting oh, the world's gonna end in this amount of days, so he's I think they're in summer break, so he's literally just doing weird shit oh, I'm gonna go join this shoji tournament, or I'm gonna try and meet this famous person, and I'm gonna finally confess my love to my childhood friend, and he keeps and he either keeps failing or he's succeeding in weird ways he didn't expect, and yeah, that's been pretty run of the mill. But there's been this underlying thing where I don't know, there's some hacker thing going on where on the other end they kind of recently revealed this other character who seems to be some sort of hacker, and he I don't know, I was this is, I don't know, is this the stuff that happens in Watch Dogs? He literally seems to be able to pull up this UI, and he kind of can figure out people's information. Again, I don't know, that's what seems to be what's going on here. So there's been some theories going around. People are saying oh, she's psychic, or she can predict things because she probably has the same thing going on her, but she's not saying it. But the whole thing is like, yeah, the main character's family knows the girl's like family. There's like a whole connection there where like they're not being upfront with him about it for some reason. I don't know why they're not, because like if they're gonna take in a random girl in their house and he has to live with her, like why aren't they being explicit about it? But anyway, point is he finally meets her parents, and there's like this oh shit moment where they outright tell him, and they're like like her mom sees her and she freaks out. And then the father's like, we gotta leave. We gotta talk about this outside the house and like go far. They literally drive to the beach. Like they're like, oh, we gotta go so far from the house from this, and explain what's going on. He already tells her, tells him, I'm saying, that our daughter died like years ago. Like whoever this girl is, she is not our real daughter. So they go into a whole thing saying she died of some muscle degenerative disease like a long time ago that affected both her body, her mind, and like she died at a very young age. She died like barely like a child. So, and it kind of just ends on that. So like and it doesn't really go more into that. So but so again, so pretty much the takeaway from an episode is like now questioning what this girl is and like what's her deal, or like if she actually is like who she's claiming to be. But again, like it's just weird to me. No one's explaining anything to this kid up front. Like she has to live with this girl. Why is no one just saying up front like, oh, she's some sort of experiment, or like or she's a clone? Like what's the deal? But I don't know. Like, there's this like weird implication. There is like some weird bigger like conspiracy or something. Well, not conspiracy, but some bigger like underlying thing where like the public should not know. Again, there's like seems to be this weird hacker subplot that seems to be connected with this, and I don't know what it is yet, but yeah, it's getting interesting. But I was like, wow, at long last we get the Chronicle Wheel Girl, but yeah, it's otherwise been very interesting so far. I would say I'm just really compelled to watch it every week. It's not like an amazing thing. Like, it still I think has a little issues where it gets a little corny sometimes when some of its jokes being forceful, but otherwise it's like, yeah, it's I was pleasantly surprised by like how like interested I am and like curious to know like what the explanation is, because again, like a lot of the key stuff like canon, Quinad, like again the whole thing is like they're not necessarily like supernatural or very fantastical up front, but like there is like a little bit of that to kind of justify like what's going on. So yeah, it's a little fun old thing. Been following.
I might watch that now that you've said all of this about it, because
the first couple episodes are wild. And again, like I think last time I talked about it, this is the most involved I've ever seen a protagonist's parents be involved in an anime protagonist's life. I think you
started to say that last time too.
There's like actually really funny moments where he's like, and I think I said this, like it was an episode before this where like he's in a room with a full of people and they're trying to make a movie project or something. I forgot what the context was. And he's like, damn, I made so many friends and I've like accomplished so much. I wish my mom was here. And like he realizes, oh shit, my mom's right in front. Like there's constant moments where they acknowledge the fact that his parents are alive, and it's pretty funny to me. Like they actually are really like, like no, his parents are alive, like, and they're there. But they keep getting involved with his shenanigans and are supportive with it, which is kind of great.
Yeah. All right, I might check that out if I ever have time. With all these anime out there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's a 24 episode series. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize. Which again, I think like our, like referencing Angel Beats one more time, like I think that was a huge problem with it. It was like only 12 episodes, and I think I think it could have like improved if they just had more like.
If they made more, yeah.
Yeah. If it was not that long, but yeah, prioritizing to focus on like we could have used more time to like expand upon and develop these characters, as opposed to like only focusing on 3 of them. And then, like, a bunch of them just disappeared at the end,
Yeah.
Which is what the issue was.
Maybe someday.
But I would say that's kind of my issue with this series so far, where it's been really entirely focused around him, the one main character, and they're not really... I mean, again, like, a lot of other main characters are not... in the cast, they're really our supporting characters, I would say, thus far. They're not really exploring them enough where it's making me ask questions like, oh, I want to know more about them. I think so far they're really just kind of serving the roles as supporting cast. But again, there's like I think it's avoiding the problem where it kind of understands now, like, we have a lot of characters here, we're not going to go too much into them where you're going to now start asking about like their development, right? But it's mostly framed around him and this kid, so
I mean, maybe they'll make Angel Beats 2 one day. The VNs.
Maybe
right?
they'll continue the
'Cause
games.
They said they were supposed.
Which was like last in 2010, I think, or 15.
It's 2015, yeah.
The
that
first
was
part of the visual novel.
Which is so weird that they came out 5 years after the game when that was always the intention. That's so weird.
It is very odd. And again, that developer is still making stuff, so
Yeah, and they never said no.
it's not like
just-
they're not. It's not like they don't know that was stopped for some reason. Something's up. They're not saying something.
You know, it took
They're not being honest here.
It took 12 years for them to make DMC 5 after DMC 4, so you never know. Like, sometimes it's just
They need
like
to
that.
wait. Yeah.
Nintendo's gonna come out and make. I was gonna say a new F-Zero game, but that seemed too laughably impossible.
Yeah,
so I was
no.
trying to think of something else that they hadn't done in a while. I mean, Star Fox Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me think about what I want to talk. Because I could talk about the really bad thing first, or
Which one is that?
the Elena episode.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Let me cover that actually. Okay. I can't remember what last week's was. For the life of me, if you ask me, I could not fucking tell you.
The lesbian.
Lesbian. Yes.
Right? Was
I
that
don't know. She's been around.
She kept shutting her
The
for
hair.
no reason.
Okay, so yes, that was the last time. That was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So last
Oh,
week's
okay.
episode before this week's one was
Okay.
she goes to a town and there's a Ripper going around.
Oh shit.
And they say
Uh-oh.
the Ripper's already taken 3 women's lives.
Uh-oh.
And she's like, oh no. And everyone in the town is carrying dolls. And she's like, this is normal. And then she goes to sleep or whatever in an inn. And then she wakes up and she has short hair. And she goes, oh my god, the Ripper is stealing women's lives, their hair. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
okay. I don't know if this is some wordplay
that
I'm missing
it?
out on. No. Then
Oh, okay.
then she goes to this witch who's investigating the Ripper or whatever, who's like this, like, I guess she's the lesbian witch's teacher or whatever, and she just wears like a witch hat and then like wears her like a jacket over her shoulders, and it just always has the crossed arms or whatever. She seemed pretty cool. They infiltrate a secret auction after she tortures the innkeeper.
Uh-huh.
Where they are selling dolls with real human hair for large amounts of money, and this twisted woman is like, haha, yes, I do it, and I give all the money from the auctions to the poor. And everyone's like, okay, like what is this? What is any of this? And then she just goes, you could have asked people and they probably would have done that. And she was like, no, it has to be this way. And then she got like weird and evil and horny, this woman who makes the dolls. And then they put her in a prison cell and that made her even hornier. And at the end, they implied the lesbian witch killed her because she cut her girlfriend's hair or whatever. And that was the whole episode.
Uh-huh.
That
Rose, this show sucks.
Yeah,
I'm not even
okay.
watching it, and this show sucks.
So then the most recent episode. So at that point,
I'm excited for you to describe this.
at that point, I was thinking,
But I also do feel bad for you.
yeah, I'm gonna keep going until the end. So at that point, and we had said this when I watched the foot fetish episode, I had assumed the series had curtailed into comedy, just gone full, hey, we're gonna be a jokey show now or whatever, right? Because
Right.
like every episode recently has just been like very weird, jokey.
Yeah.
Like people are still fucked up, like we said in the first few episodes, but we're not gonna be like serious about it. We're just gonna be jokey. This fucking episode this week was, so she goes into this town And she goes, wow, I'm hungry, and just sees a sign, and the sign goes, I will pay you in food and money to help me with a spell, any witches out there. And she goes in there and she eats a bunch of food, and this witch is like, hey, so the job is first of all, Elena agrees to the job without hearing what it is first.
Good.
And the girl goes, okay, so I invented time travel magic because my best friend when I was a child became a mass serial killer at the age of 8, and after I had to track her down and kill her. And it was horrible because she became evil after her parents were murdered by a robber that broke into their house.
There's a lot.
And she's like, so I want to go back in time because I've lived with the horror of having killed her my whole life or whatever. So
Okay.
I made this time travel magic to go back in time 10 years. And we can be there for 1 hour and we can fix this. I've planned this perfectly. And Elena's like, sounds great. That's great. That's a good plan. And they go back in time, and she's like, okay, so I'm going to go get the parents out there or whatever, send them to my parents' house, and then we'll beat up the robber when the robber comes or whatever. And then we'll get the robber arrested, and then we'll go back in time, and everything will be fine. And then, like, the girl's like, okay, so you wait here, see if the robber comes earlier than I thought or whatever, and I'll take the parents to my house or whatever. And then, oh no, her magic detector is saying that she's fighting someone, so she runs off to find where she went, and there's just like both of the parents and the witch girl are lying on the floor like all bloody and stuff like that or whatever, and the little girl is wearing this evil hood or whatever, and she has a Joker mask made of blood. And she's just like drooling and oozing blood out of her mouth, and she's like, haha, I killed them all, yes, ... or whatever, like. And Elena's like, oh my god, you're the bad guy, or whatever. This isn't supposed to happen. I can't believe it. And she goes, oh, well, my parents abused me and turned me into the monster that you see before you, or whatever. And she goes like, why would this make you into we came back in time to stop you from becoming a serial killer. And she goes, I become a serial killer? Sounds pretty cool, or whatever. And it's like, and then the other witch gets up and is like, how could you do this? You've betrayed me. I'm going to put all of my memories into a spell. And she just starts like chucking magic orbs at her that are like making her bleed tremendously. Again, this is a 6-year-old, okay? I cannot stress this enough. This is a 6-year-old that she is like brutally beating up. And eventually she just throws one big magic orb and her head just explodes like a video game character.
Holy hell.
And she's like just dead. And the other witch collapses. They go back into the future or whatever, the modern times. And the girl is like dead, basically. The other witch is just like in a chair like, oh, I don't remember anything anymore. And then Elena just goes outside and goes, damn, that was fucked up. And the episode ends. And I was just there like, what the fuck was that? Like, this show is rating up to like #1 episode of the week out of any anime, which is really depressing.
It is.
Because it was one of the worst episodes of anything I have ever seen, I think. It is the most like formulaic, like, gotta take him on a feels trip but be edgy and fucked up type stuff. I saw a few people refer to it as low-rent Higurashi, which absolutely is what it was, like a Higurashi ripoff. All those that came out around the time.
It's like Higurashi if you see it out of context and like the memes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like showing just the horror parts and like how they do look really goofy out of context and in context, but like if you don't know why, it looks like
like there's reasons in Higurashi and they have things going on that lead up to those things, not it just happens.
Yeah, the Anime World Order review, not Anime World Order, the Anime News Network review that you sent us, Rose, was just like absolutely how you're making it sound, where it's just like, this sucked, but it's like funny in how much it sucks.
It's like insane how bad it was. Like I was like blown away. I was just like at the end I was like, wow, okay. Like
yeah, like it's gotten so bad that it's hit like, oh, you should just watch this to laugh at it.
Yeah, and like the thing that really made me upset, and I said this to y'all, like the animation team for the show and even the composers for the music are so good at what they do.
Right.
And it's like it's being used on this fucking like nothing show where this like terrible person goes around and sees 6-year-olds get murdered, right? Like like it's this beautiful animation and it's being used to render a 6-year-olds getting like fetishistically murdered, basically, right? Like what the fuck is that? What is that? Like,
it's a shame is what it is.
and I'm trying to think, like, so they have like 3 episodes or something left of this, maybe 2, I don't know. I think 3. What are they going to be? Are they going to acknowledge that this happened? Is she still going to be depressed now? Are they going to do the fat phobic one? Like, what are we going to do?
Oh boy.
Like,
they might cap it
could
off.
you imagine if the next episode was the fat phobic one? Like right after that?
Gosh, yeah, cap it off strong.
Like, I just don't know. Like, it was just so stupid. Like, if this, you know, this would have been bad if it had been like episode 4 or whatever, like right after they did, or 5, whatever, after the witch one, right? Or the princess one, where she, like if
she murdered her dad.
If it had continued
dad,
after that one, you know, I would have at least been like, okay, you know, progression of themes or whatever, progression of like fucked upness. This is like after they did a foot fetish episode, like a drunk episode, and then the last one where it's like this person's going around cutting people's hair. Like, are you fucking kidding me? 6-year-old serial killer? And like, just saying nothing of like, you know, the whole like, oh, abuse made me a monster type storyline, which is really just bottom of the barrel stuff, really just rotten. It's not good. It wasn't good. It was not a good thing. But I'll let you know how this goes next podcast.
Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. On the flip side of that, I've continued to realize that Sleepy Princess is my favorite show this season, I think, easily. I think we said this last time, but God, it's really good. It makes me laugh a lot every time I watch it.
I agree, just like of stuff that is new this season, because, you know, like I started to kind of catch up with Dragon Quest. I don't have anything really to say, but I will just mention that I am watching that. But Sleepy Princess just knocks it out of the park every episode. Like, that is also something that I'm watching in, like, Chooch Chat with everybody. And every episode, everyone in there, like, even the folks that aren't, like, super into anime, will watch it and will just crack up. It is super, super good.
It's so good. I finally watched the Hypnos episode, and underrated part that you did not mention, John, last time, is the part where he's, like, talking to them on the TV, and she just comes up to cut off his coat, and they're all, like, just cheering her on. Like, they're just, like, trying to distract him.
Hey, I just didn't want to ruin it for you, you know?
I know, no, I appreciate it, but I just was like, oh my God.
And it just felt the need to reference the 4 reaction guys.
Yeah.
In that thing, it was really caught off guard by now. I was like, wow, okay, I haven't seen this in years.
Yeah, I know.
It's really strange.
But that was really good. That whole episode was really good.
It was.
The next episode was really good, where she just walks in the room and says, I had a nightmare. Let me tell you about it. We're in the middle of a meeting, and she's like, let me tell you about it.
Yeah, they're all like trying to move on and like ignore her, and she's just like, you know, if you tell somebody about your nightmare, it makes you feel better.
She just like keeps talking, and there's like,
she just keeps going, yeah.
And then she just says these fucked up things that happened in her childhood, where this like child died, who's the hero kid or whatever. Just like all the commentaries, like, no, he died. You left him to die. That was his gravestone and stuff like that. And she's just like ignoring them and just being like, okay, I feel better now. Thanks. Or just, but like just the progression of her going through all her weird nightmare stories about this equally nightmare child, I guess, this kid, the hero boy. It was, oh God, I was really laughing.
Very good.
It's a great show. It's just good. They gave her the Bowser Jr. thing, That was
They
really,
did.
I loved that.
She deserves it.
Every
She absolutely deserves it.
God, it's such a yeah. I remember first watching this and just thinking like, oh gosh, this is gonna be a one joke thing, and then it's just like, yeah, it's a 2 joke thing, but God, the way the I'm trying to think of the word, the escalation. The escalation is just insane consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how it ends. I don't know if the manga's over or anything. I don't know if...
I don't think it is.
Yeah, okay. I wonder how the season will end. Another series also where you can really tell that they're putting a lot of effort into it, but I don't think it's wasted this time. I think it's pretty good. Okay. LV, do you want to talk about something else? Like Tonikawa?
Yeah.
Tokinawa, sorry. I thought I kept
Oh
thinking
yeah,
it's Tonikawa.
Tokinawa. So, again, this is an anime where not a lot happens. I'll be frank about that. But I think they're So, this is a very strange series. So it is clear that there is some sort of supernatural element going on here, where, again, the main girl, like, I think she is definitely some sort of reference to, I think, Princess Kaguya. Lives on the moon. And the main character, his name is NASA, which was intentional. Yeah, so, like, there is a whole thing going on here where there are, like, elements where there's something about her that has, like, that seems otherworldly, but they're not really, I don't know, it's weird, because it's clear it's there. I don't think they're just doing this like, oh, we're just, like, I think there's clearly something there, because especially the whole thing where they met and he had like an accident, and there's some aspect to her where she kind of saved him, but they're not really clear as to what happened there. But there's a moment where this is like the episode before the recent ones, where she actually was adopted, or rather she was like taken care of by this like wealthy, like, Hime-sama, stereotypical little girl. Like, she was part of this, she was adopted by some rich family. And they were taking care of her. And they don't really go into, like, I think they learned to, like, say, like, she doesn't remember, like, where she came from either. And, yeah, and basically he goes there, and he's like, and they're like, the girl, like, his, like, so to speak, her stepsister, I guess, right? Her foster sister was like, I'm taking her back from you, whatnot, like, like, you don't deserve, like, and it was just a whole thing where, like, he was trying to prove to himself to her adopted family, like, how they're married and whatnot. And again, everyone thinks this marriage is fucked up. So, like, again, it's not like outside from the, like, in universe, everyone's saying this marriage is fucked up. Why did you marry? And otherwise they can't do anything about it. So they're all like trying to just give them advice to the best of their ability. So, like, I think that's like kind of reassuring that in the universe they like acknowledge the logic of this. But anyway, so like. Yeah, and the whole thing was, like, he finds out a lot about her, like, he didn't know before, and he's married her, that's the whole thing here, where he's, like, finding this out through the adopted family, like, the maids, and the so to speak, adopted sister, and then they find this thing in her room, like, and he accidentally breaks it, I think, or something, or they, like, get in a scuffle, I forgot what happens, like, this is, like, a few episodes ago already, and it's, like, this piece of the moon, it's, like, a moonstone. And it's like in her room, and like all they say is like, oh yeah, this is like a special thing to her. Like, it reminds her of like of her childhood or her like, and they don't really go further into that. But they, and the whole thing was like, oh shit, we gotta put it back together before she sees it. And they put it back together, and that's that. And again, like that's just kind of the feel of things. Like, they meet new characters and whatnot. And they kind of get used to, like, oh yeah, I should, like, literally the whole series is really just him trying to figure out, okay, how can I make her happy, like, and trying to overcome a miscommunication. But yeah, there are details like that where, like, they just throw these weird suggestions as to what she is, or if she's some sort of, like, deity of some sort, and they don't really elaborate on it further. It's a very weird, long tease that I don't know if they're ever gonna actually culminate or,
like, will it be satisfying,
because the series is still ongoing too.
If they do.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, the purpose of it either. It's really weird. Like, there could be, like, I kind of just don't get it. Like, again, like, it could just easily be a superficial thing. It's just like a weird thing they're peppering in there, as like, yeah, whatever. Like, their creator just wanted to thematically do this. Like, yeah, she's tied to the moon in some way, and like his name is like a reference to space, etc. Like, But they're like doing like, but they're like dropping these weird like references to it where it's convincing me there's something more important here. But so far, there's nothing else to the series but nothing. It's a nothing series, right? But it is weird, and like even people who I think so far would how where the manga is, they're not really going more into it. It's just like some weird thing is sprinkled and mentioned here, and that's that. It goes on to the rest of the series just being about how they're doing with their marriage and their relationship. But yeah, otherwise that's just mainly my observation. There's really not much to say about this series, to be honest. But it is odd. Like I don't know how it's still going. It's like 13 volumes. Wow. Yeah. I thought it was a 12 episode series, so I don't know how that's going to culminate really. But
I'm sorry, how many volumes?
13 volumes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in them. I don't know what's going on, and like what is even.
I hadn't even heard of
so
this before
Yeah.
they made the anime. That's.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I bet they haven't said shit in the up to volume 13 or whatever. I bet they're still doing their tease thing. That's how those series always are, like Nisekoi.
I mean, they kissed at least several times already at this point.
Yeah, well, the same thing happened in Nisekoi.
But they haven't shared a bed yet, so we gotta. That hurdle needs to be overcome. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, so the thing in Nisekoi was like, whatever, they were all like doing their fake dating or their real dating, whatever, all their
Right.
thing. But like the overarching plot, which is like you can mirror to the deity thing where they're teasing it or whatever, like is the lock.
Yeah, someone did mention that being similar. Yeah.
Yeah, the lock and the key thing, which they never answer in Nisekoi and make worse
Interesting.
over time, if anything. And it was just like
And they never did.
they not in what I've seen. I think it's still running the manga, so probably
no.
not. They kept adding girls to it, and it was just insane,
Ooh.
and it was a nightmare, and there were too many. And
There were too
I
many
imagine that's
girls.
what happens in that series, even though they're married or whatever. They probably
At the very least, so far there has been no additional girls.
Yeah.
So far. Like, and it was interesting that the one girl, like, again, there was they had like they went to the bad house. I think I mentioned this before in this episode, where like, yeah, it's like the two sisters and one of them's a classmate. And she clearly has a crush on the main character, but she's like very respectful of it, which I think is interesting, like up front. Like she's like, okay, but it's clear that once in a while that thought pops up, and she's like, she doesn't do anything though, so that's kind of refreshing to see that kind of perspective for once. But and yeah, it's not even a big cast. I feel like I've seen. I think at this point I've met every character that really is in this entire series. Like in terms of the recurring people. Like there's 5 of them, and that's that. So I don't know what these 13 volumes entail with these 5 same people. I don't know if they're adding more girls. Maybe they are, and they're just not important though to note so far. But yeah. Maybe there will be an answer, maybe there will not. But there are only 12 episodes in this anime, so I will be sticking with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really something that it is piquing my interest to look at the manga. It's definitely not.
Yeah, I can't imagine
it's
the
just
format
whatever.
of a manga would lend a particularly exciting look into
This ever
this. Yeah.
20 chapters they did not hold hands. Yeah, yes, I don't.
Ooh.
That very painful. Very painful.
Like, say what you will about Rental Girlfriend, but I feel like if I read that, shit would be popping off pretty consistently based on what.
Well, yeah, Rental Girlfriend had drama.
Yeah.
Like it was, it's a frustrating series because we don't really see growth in a character. You kind of do want to hope to be better, but he kind of doesn't. And I think too how they deal with the girls in that series was definitely disappointing for me. I was kind of expecting better too, with how they were gonna probably, but like no, it was kind of. It was like kind of like half of them were as bad as the main character, or like kind of the others were just just there, not really. I don't know. It's a very the anime showed me something that was very stagnant, and it was just not what I expected it to be. But alas, it is getting a second season from what we know. So. But it had drama, so that I think would compel anyone to keep watching
Yeah.
it, or read it. Unfortunately, I might do that. So
Wow. Okay.
the anime, at least, I wouldn't say I would want to read it.
Yeah. No.
No.
You saying that thing about that they have a crush, but it's considered respectful or whatever, and they don't do anything with it. Reminded me because I wanted to talk about Assault Lily Bouquet, that Shaft Gotcha game anime.
they had a child.
They had a
or something.
child named Yuri.
There was a child created already.
Yeah, well, so they haven't said what she is, but she has purple hair and they have blue and pink hair. So I'm gonna go with they're probably their future child since she imprinted on her instantly. So yeah, they named her Yuri, which was their ship name. By the school, which is a very normal thing to do. I joked before it happened that they were going to name the kid Little Homo or something like that because of how like just that show had been, and then they literally did that. I was like, okay. That show really has the plot isn't particularly the most compelling stuff in the world. It's pretty fluff, but the animation is really really good, as you'd expect from Shaft, I guess, really. But like, as I've been watching it, I've just been sitting here like, hey, man, like, if you're a gacha game and you don't get your anime done by Shaft, what are you doing? Like, because I was thinking about, like, when the Fate Go anime came out, and it was animated okay, but it wasn't even UFO Table, which was the type of thing where, like, you'd think they would have gone in-house for that stuff, like, to their own animators, who are pretty renowned to make that stuff. But I was gonna say imagine a Fate Shaft anime, but they did that and it was bad. So, but I was just thinking like, hey, what if they made a Grand Blue anime? Shaft made the Grand Blue anime instead of those other people, and it was just like super well animated and stuff. Because there's some really good cuts of animation in the fights and stuff like this. It's really impressive stuff. It's also the type of Shaft show that isn't like the Monogatari style, like Madoka is, where they like constantly cutting away to more like elaborate visual effects and stuff like that. It's just like, hey, this is a well animated fight, stuff like that. The thing that we were saying is there's just this girl who was in the first episode who has red hair, who's like the loudest of the lesbians in the show or whatever, and just has like a huge.
The loudest.
It's not even like subtext in the show; like they just say it outright, all the stuff, all the time.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, like I have a crush on main character girl Riri or whatever, and like everyone is just constantly like destroying her for it, and she's like clearly not in the picture anymore, and it is devastating to watch.
Gosh.
Like, she'll just be around and she'll be like, oh, of course I'll help you, Riri. I love you. You're great or whatever. And everyone will be like, that's just pathetic. What's wrong with you? Like, she already has her partner now or whatever, like that. It's just like, because she's not like, because I was expecting her to be the archetype that's in all of the, like, Love Lives, and the Nozomi character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Who's like, oh, girl, I'm going to grab the boobs. She's not that at all. She's just horny for this one specific woman. And I wouldn't even say horny. That seems excessive. And everyone's just mean to her. And it feels really bad to watch. Just watch, like, all these scenes where she's like...
Sounds mean, yeah.
Like, there was a scene where, like, Riri was busy with raising this child for an episode. So she wasn't hanging out with anyone. And then, like, they set it up so, like, oh, good, her partner is there one of the days. They finally lined up all the schedules and stuff like that so they could have tea together. And then just, like, in the background, they have all of the other ones, like, chiding the red-haired girl who really wanted to go over there. And she's, like, crying into her tea because she wants to go hang out with her, too, because it's been so long or whatever. And it's just like, This is sick. This is sicko stuff. This is someone's, like... NTR thing. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. It's not good.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
It's just sad. It's really weird because they're clearly not trying to portray it as that, but they keep doing it, and it's like, It could be a game bit. I don't know. I don't know anything about the game. They fight the Huge.
Yeah,
they fight the
they're still
Huge.
called that.
They've been getting into like the dynamics of war now, but one of the girls said, well, we're fighting the war now, so we can worry about what happens after, or something like that. And it was like...
Isn't the war the whole plot, then? Or are they not?
Yeah, so they fight... They've been fighting the Huge for 50 years, and only the teen girls can fight them. But they were saying that the world's government sends spies in all the time because they are convinced that if the war with the Huge... because the Huge made all normal wars end, right? Obviously, because everyone's just fighting them all the time. They said when the Huge go away one day, if we manage to beat the Huge, then normal wars will happen again. and everyone wants to use the teen girls as weapons, obviously, for future wars, so they have to be scared of that. And then the main character girl goes, that makes me depressed, and the other girl goes, well, we don't have to worry about it until it happens then, or something like that. It was just like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
It was really weird. It's a weird show. I can't say I hate it or anything. I think it's like I said, the fight scenes are really engaging, and stuff, but it is weird. It's a weird program. It's weird. The voice actor for Kirei from Fate is a diabolical old man who's the principal of the school, also. Which I thought it was funny because I looked up his history again, and I was like, oh yeah, this guy only voices evil old men or dragons, which is a hell of a typecast.
Sounds good to me.
Have. Yeah, like that's what he is.
That's a life.
That's a life, yeah. I was thinking like the voice actor for Kaiba is very renowned, obviously, Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! In Japan.
Yeah.
But he changed his main voice that he does in like 2016 when I was looking at what he does, like, and I imagine it's to avoid, the David Hayter style thing, right? Where it's like everyone hires you to be Snake or whatever, right? Like,
right.
Everyone hires you to be Kaiba. So then he just became this like really aloof sounding voice. And I was like, why didn't he ever do that? And it's because he's a sick fuck and he wants to be a dragon and an evil old man all the time. He's a sicko.
Let him be.
Let him be. I guess you're right. Yeah, let him be. It's just weird because like even the voice actor for Dio, whose name always escapes me, he uses the same voice for a lot of characters, but they're all very different characters. Much to think about. All right. Did you want to talk about Yashahime at all, Elvie? I don't know. I'm still not caught up, so I can't join you too much. But I'm out. I'm more than happy to hear what is going on.
Yeah, I won't go. I guess I won't go into too much detail. I don't know how far you are. I don't know if you
episode
Dream Butterfly
4,
thing.
I think. So I know about the butterfly.
Okay.
I know about the butterfly.
Okay, you know about the butterfly. But yeah, like it's there's some, it's very interesting, and like I agree with some of the complaints. Like some of the monsters are clearly just rehashes of like stuff in the original series, but it's like a more watered down version of them, which is very interesting. But that's not something that sticks out to me like too much personally. Rather, I'm really like into like trying to be like, what the fuck's going on? I have so many questions. A lot of people have other questions, like what is happening here? And a big thing is like, why are people not? So the girls are confused. Let's be real. The girls are confused. I'm confused, and they're not. No one's really pointing out to them specifically. Well, I think no, they know, but no one's just upfront confronting them, saying, "Hey, you are the kids of like these significant people, so or Yashi Shibar," and that's pointed out to them. But that's not, that's kind of not their priority really. They're not really thinking about it. Their priority is figuring out like what's the deal with the gems in their eyes, like why do they have that, and that's like seems to be a specifically new thing. But then, like, some of their few returning characters, or at least the characters who have had a relationship with the original cast, are not really helpful to them. And you would think, like, they should be. Like, I don't know. It was really weird to me when, like, Kagome's brother, I forgot his name. They just send them back to the well, like, right away. They don't really do much to prep them. They're like, yeah, you should go back. Like, they send Toa back, who is, that's her original time. She's just lived through the modern world. But that's not where she's from. And they're just like, yeah, go back. But they don't really do much prepping for them. They don't explain to them up front about, like, hey, these are their parents. This is what happened. They don't tell them the whole detailed story of, like, the events that happened. Like, why? Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he help them? Specifically, he actually met, like, I think one of, like, Kagome's mom at this point, an older woman, like, or someone, like, they say, like, oh, they tell Moroha, who's the daughter of, Inuyasha and Kagome, before they go back to the well and time travel back to the past, they, like, I forgot who says it, but they call me like, oh yeah, you're just like Kagome, or you just look like her. And Moroha's like, yeah, I don't know who that is. But they don't explain who Kagome is. Why aren't they explaining who her mother is? And then they just, why aren't you answering their questions? Anyway, they send them back in the past, and they're just clueless as to what the fuck they can do. But yeah, most of the series right now is just them, like, monster hunting and, like, yokai smashing and basically
yeah.
selling off to this pawn shop guy. It's great. It's just literally like a dumb monster of the week thing. Meanwhile, is again, it's like the format of the original shit. There's like it's a monster of the week. While meanwhile there is like a bigger overarching problem going on. But that's just the most baffling thing to me. I was like, why is no one explaining shit to them? Why are they like this? In addition, the whole issue again, where like this was not an issue in the original series, and this was never a comment brought up, or like the issue of like, oh, gotta be careful with time, because we're Toa, like I be careful with like modern stuff because I might fuck up the times. That again, not an issue in the original series. That was never brought up. And then Toa's meanwhile just like a really nice person, so she's just giving people like all these modern snacks, like to random strangers all the time. But then meanwhile she keeps saying like, oh shit, I gotta be careful about introducing something modern here and mess up. But she's giving like people like fucking Pocky. Like, and then, like, are you kidding me? like, she just gives people Pocky. She gives like the little like creature. I forgot the name already. The little new creature that's kind of like Shippo, but it's not Shippo. Like she's giving them like fucking modern day Japanese snacks, and like, but meanwhile they're like worried about messing up the time. But you're fucking, like, giving the people apples where there's no apples yet in Japan at this point in time. So that person's gonna poop, and they're gonna accidentally plant an apple tree in their poop, and you're gonna fuck everything up. So, anyway, that's my grips with the series. But I'm still watching the series, but I have so many questions, and I'm frustrated by them. But it is what it is so far. Again, this is another series where I think it's gonna be 24 episodes, I think. So there's like a long way to go. There's a long way to go that hopefully I will get answers, or I will be forever left frustrated by the logic of this show.
The thing I keep hearing from everyone is that it's insane that like they've referenced Sesshomaru, but they have not referenced like Kagome or Inuyasha particularly that much, or like where they are. And it's not like, I think like I remember saying like there was this other show that they were watching where it's like, oh, those characters got mind wiped from everyone, and like Kingdom Hearts, that was it. They were saying like Kingdom Hearts, where like everyone forgot Sora for a year.
I think that's what's happening here. But like, why is the people who are aware of what's happening not saying anything? Like, why are they not saying like, oh, they're actually gone? Like, they're not saying they're dead. They're not saying they're missing. Why? Like, where the fuck Song go? Like, where is she? Like, why is what is going on here? So I don't know. Like it's whatever. But anyway, I don't know. Like, I have a theory, and I'm not going to go much into it because again, you're not caught up. But like, I have a theory that if they're not cowards, I think they're really showing here that Sesshomaru really is an evil bastard.
Yeah. And
I think that puts me to rest in terms of like whether or not Rin is the mother, because if he's an evil bastard, then okay, he's an evil bastard.
Yeah.
So I'm if they're willing to go that far with it as to what the deal is with that relationship, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I can sleep sound.
I
if
hope
he's actually just full on fucked up and something messed up happened there.
I hope it's just he cut his hair off and they turned into two girls. He cut his hair and it became, or his tails or something, like a nine-tailed fox.
Oh, it was a little furry thing. Yeah. Yeah, they just bud out with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like a theory one of my friends was saying, like, it makes sense they're twins because they could be just like a split of his power, which I was like, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I hope that's at least an explanation, but I don't know. That makes sense to me. But who knows? Who knows where this series is going?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
I gotta get caught up. Alright, then I guess the last thing I'll talk about is the Nana show, Talentless Nana. I'm actually still enjoying it. Even though it's a killing game, sort of. It's not really a game, it's just she's killing people. It's like Higurashi, I guess, really. That's what I saw a couple people refer to it as, being like, they introduced like a Hubert from Fire Emblem. But for her. Which is like, is this a new archetype did this come from somewhere? This is like the Greek thing where I'm like, okay, why is this happening now? But he's literally just Hubert.
Oh.
like with the glasses and black hair and everything, or well,
Right.
not glasses, sorry, but the black hair and like taller and like
Yeah.
lanky whatever guy. But they gave him like, so they all have the powers, right? And she does, and she's going to kill them all because they have the powers. He can just like copy anyone, but like actually copy, like he turns into them, or he can turn into animals and stuff like that or whatever, because he survived the last time everyone on the island died or whatever, and he's just been living in a cave. But he can turn into the people, but it's not just like he looks like them, he just gets like literally everything about them, like their voice and their powers and everything, which is like, okay, jump the shark a little there with that power all of a sudden. But it's still pretty like, how will she get out of this one with her murders?
Just more murder.
Just more murders, and it's enjoyable. It's not like the most crazy deep thing in the world again or anything, but I think they have fun like tension between every week or whatever. Yeah, I don't know how this series is still running because I think there's a finite number of students. I don't. And
Yeah, like by now she would have killed.
she's
everyone.
killed like
what's going?
8 people so far, and there's like 20. She killed 2 in one episode, which was very bold. And one, so yeah, they did finally explain why there was. I was getting mad because there was a Gyaru on the island. I was saying like, where do they get their Gyaru stuff or whatever? Like, where do they get this stuff if
Yeah,
they're living
like,
on
where
an
do you
island?
shop for
They
your-
have a ship
Yeah.
come and deliver spray tans for her or whatever, like
Oh my
that,
gosh.
every month.
That's
And
convenient.
colored contacts and stuff. And I was like, okay. I hate that they thought about it when I was complaining about it, honestly. I was like, you actually thought about it. But yeah, I don't know. One of the murders was she poisoned someone's contact solution, which was, I've never seen anyone do that before.
That's pretty fucked up.
It was pretty fucked up. She just died from that. I don't know how that worked, but it worked.
I mean, well, yeah, your eyeball. Well, first of all, that sounds like it's very painful.
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
It is
Anything with
horrifying,
eyes,
isn't it?
Terrifying.
I don't like it.
Don't like that. And I guess that makes sense because everything in your body connects with everything in your body. So I guess maybe if it was like some water solution, I don't know, like it goes through the eyeballs and then into the rest of your stream, your body stream. Maybe I don't know. The logic is there, but the eyeball thing is terrifying.
Yeah.
I do not like that at all.
Yeah. The other girl, she just killed outright. Like, she stabbed her in the neck or whatever with a poison needle.
Okay, see, that's a little more, the eye contact solution. That's terrifying.
It was terrible. Well, she had to set it up to all be elaborate to seem like she killed her or whatever like that. Because that girl can make poison with her tongue or whatever. But
Oh, yeah.
in order to survive, the trade-off for this terrible ability that isn't useful for anything is that she has to go into the forest and just eat snakes and lizards. The Gyaru
Right.
girl does. I mean, so
That's pretty good.
it was. Did she like? Because she just finished killing this zombie lady who makes zombies appear, and then she's just like wandering back to the school or whatever. I was like, whoa, that was a big fight. And then there's just this girl hunched over a bush eating a snake, and it was like, okay, sure. And then she just killed her. It was like, okay, well, there goes that one. Yeah, I don't know where this series goes, but it's fun. I don't know if you like Danganronpa. It's like that. I don't even have anything to say about Akudama Drive anymore. It's just ridiculous. It's just insane.
If you like Danganronpa, watch this show. If you don't,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
The one thing I'll say about Akudama Drive is they decided to have this entire bit where she talked about how she was a better hostage to take because she's a virgin, which was one of the worst things I have seen in anime in recent times.
Oh boy.
And then she killed 3 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like, wow, you're so edgy and cool, Kodaka. Wow. You made me think.
Super smart
Does
guy,
anyone,
you know.
Like, watching that? I don't hear
I don't
about
know.
it being discussed.
I don't either. I don't know. I assume people are watching it. I don't know. Again, like the thing that's impressive. This is the same thing with Elena, where it's like very talented people working on this aesthetically speaking.
Yeah, like it looks
and,
good.
Like
but...
music's pretty good too, and just.
It's like, why are you wasting your time on this?
It's becoming more and more noticeable recently to me. Like, it's just like, you're like, why are you wasting your time on this? Because again, you see like a lot of like high budget not even a high budget productions, but the high budget franchises and stuff like that end up like just pushing out these really like mediocre animated works, and you're like, why didn't like Ghost in the Shell, the new Ghost in the Shell, you know, like that. Like, why is that?
That deserves like a better.
Like, imagine if the people who did all the art and everything for Aknama Drive did a Ghost in the Shell, probably be pretty decent.
Oh, that'd be kind
probably
of
be
cool.
pretty
That'd
good.
be very interesting and different. Yeah.
I don't know.
But here we are. They just
Yep.
made another thing.
Man needs to get a grip. All right, I think that's everything, right? That's everything?
Guess so.
All right.
And we don't have any questions or anything, so that's it.
All right.
Oh.
Cool. So, all right. So, so we're planning on doing our Anime of the Year awards again, in like 2 episodes, or in,
Yeah, at the end of the month.
Yeah, end of the month we'll be doing that. We'll probably post more information about that and talk about it more on the next episode. But if you have any shit to say, you can just send it in to the Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask.
Yeah, so if you just have like general stuff that you want to talk about, like your favorite animes or whatever of the year, that's fine. We're probably gonna take some time in like the next week or so to like think up the categories, and we'll post them on the Twitter and in the Discord, and we'll talk about them in the next episode. But also, to kind of give ourselves a little bit of space so we're not super overwhelmed, Rose, if you want to let people know what we're doing.
We're watching a film, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
A movie. I don't know. I was trying to think of another synonym for movie. Yeah, we're watching...
Moving picture.
Motion picture. There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Let us.
Yeah. Moving picture. So we are watching the first Kara no Kyokai, or Garden of Sinners film, which you can find on Crunchyroll.com. It's right there. You can even watch it for free. You don't even have to have a membership. It's right there. Just the first one. It's only like an hour long or something. You can watch more if you want. Just, content warning for some later stuff, if you do. We're just going to talk about the first one. Third movie.
Yeah, the third movie has some sexual assault content, but the rest of it is, there's violence, there's blood, there's that sort of stuff. I'm looking at the Does the Dog Die page.
Yeah, it has, like, pretty standard stuff, like, if you don't like dismemberment, there's that.
Yeah.
But it's nothing particularly, like, fetishistic, I don't think. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything to be warned about here. Not really. Maybe heights, if you don't like heights. Maybe some height stuff, but not that much. Okay. Yeah, so we'll be covering that next episode. Not like in 2 weeks, or not in 4 weeks like we usually do, in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, we're making it easy for us. We're making it easy for y'all. You just got to watch an hour-long movie in the next 2 weeks, and then we'll do Anime of the Year after that. And who knows? Maybe there will be a little something special with Anime of the Year,
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you both for joining. Well, wait, I forgot to do the whole Patreon bit, huh?
Yes, please do.
Go there. You can get episodes. This episode was brought to you by Natalie, who did the Ghost in the Shell recommendation by pledging $3 to our Patreon, which gives you episodes of our show 1 week early. That's patreon.com/VGCC. Go there. All right. Now that does it. Now that's everything. Thank you both for joining me and discussing Ghost in the Shell and other such animes. And I'll talk to you both in a couple weeks, and you all will hear it out there on Choochagatari Unlimited Train Works. Have a good night.
She's so cold and human. It's something humans do. She stays so golden and solo. She's so number 9. She's incredible.